Hello Year 8. The next thing we're going to do is look at multiplying and dividing terms with algebra. So last lesson we learned about adding and subtracting, and we learned that we had to have like terms before we could add or subtract things. But when you're multiplying and dividing, you can multiply any terms together. All you need to do is multiply the numbers and collect up the letters. So in example 1 here, we're doing all multiplication questions. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to multiply the numbers and collect up the letters at the end. So we have 5 times 2, which is 10, and then there's an x, so the x will sit at the end. In B, 7ab times 4c, we're going to start by multiplying the numbers. 7 times 4 is 28. And then all the letters A, B, and C collect up at the end, and when there's more than one letter, alphabetical order is the best way to write those. Question C, 11p times minus 3q. Multiplying the numbers, 11 times negative 3 is negative 33. Feel free to use your calculator if you need to multiply numbers together. And the letters P and Q will sit at the end. It still works for part D when we have 3 terms. Because they're all multiplied, we're going to multiply all 3 numbers. So let's use our calculator for this one. We're going to go 2 times 4 times negative 5 to get negative 40. And then the letters A, B, and another A. If we have 2 of the same letter, A times A can become an A squared, and then the B will sit after it. Again, alphabetical order. So A squared first, and then the B. E, multiplying the numbers together, we're going to multiply 8 times minus 4 times 2 to get a negative 64. And then looking at the letters, we have an X, Y, Z, which are in the perfect order to put at the end. Question F, 2a times 3a. 2 times 3 is 6, and then the letter A times A, because they're the same letter, we make that an A squared. G, 5 times 3 will be 15, and the letters, we have one A, but there's 2 B's, so the squared goes on the B this time. H, 3x squared times x. 3 is the only number there, so 3 will be the only number in the answer. The x squared times another x, this first one means that I've already got 2 x's, and I'm adding on another 1 here, so altogether I have 3 x's, x to the power of 3. I, 9 times 8 is 72, and again, x squared times another x means that I have 3 x's, or x to the power of 3. J, 2ab times 3bc times 2abd. Oh, lots of letters in there. Let's start by multiplying all the numbers. 2 times 3 is 6, times 2 is 12. Now, in alphabetical order, starting with A, we have 1 here and 1 here, so we have A squared. Then looking for B's, we have 1, 2, 3 of those, that would be cubed. And then C, one of those, and then finally a D as well. Okay, so that's multiplying. Question 2, we are now going to divide. So when you divide with algebra, you divide the numbers and cancel any letters. So let's look at A, 32y divided by 8. So we do 32 divided by 8, which is 4. Because there's only one y, there's nothing to cancel with, so the y will just stay there in the answer. Whereas in B, doing the numbers first, 15 divided by 5 is 3, but a p will cancel out, so the 3 is the only thing that's left. Divides can be written as a divide symbol or they can be written as a fraction. So C and D here, even though they're fractions, we are still dividing. So 16 divided by 2 is 8, and because it's only one x, the x will stay in the answer. So 8x. D, 12xy divided by 16x. 12 divided by 16 doesn't divide nicely to give a nice whole number. So sometimes we just want to simplify the numbers down as best we can and leave our answer as a simplified fraction. So we can do that on a calculator. We can type in 12 over 16, and it will simplify it down to be a 3 and a 4. So that 12 is going to become a 3 and the 16 is going to become a 4. The x on the top will cancel the x on the bottom, but the y will stay there. So the answer would be 3y on the top and 4 on the bottom. E. We're back to normal divide signs here, but 18 divided by 81 doesn't go nicely. So if you have that happen, you might want to write, or you should write, the question out again as a fraction so that we can do it like we did with question D, simplifying the numbers down and cancelling the letters. So 18 and 81 can both be divided by 9 to get a 2 and a 9, or you can type that into your calculator like I did last time. You get your calculator to simplify it down. You can cancel the A with the A and the B with the B, and what's left is a 2C on the top and a 9 on the bottom. Please make sure that you're very neat when you cancel things out, otherwise it can be hard to see what's left and you might accidentally miss something. F, minus 15x and divide by minus 25xy. Well, again, those numbers are not going to divide nicely, so let's put it as a fraction. Minus 15x over minus 25xy. So let's use the fraction again on the calculator, and we will type in just the numbers. We type minus 15 on the top and then minus 25 on the bottom, and you'll see that the minuses cancel out and we are left with a 3 on the top and a 5 on the bottom. We can also cancel the x with the x, and what's left is just a 3 on the top and a 5 and the y on the bottom. Question G. Minus 11pq over 44q. So both of those numbers can be divided by 11 to give a 1 and a 4. You could do it in the calculator if you want. We can also cancel the q with the q. This time the minus sign did not cancel out, so please don't forget it. We're going to have a negative 1p, or just negative p is more simplified, on the top, and we're going to have a 4 on the bottom. Question H, 10 and 15. We can divide by 5 to get 2 and 3 to simplify the numbers down. We can cancel a b with a b, but the a and c will stay. So the leftovers are 2a on the top and 3c on the bottom. Question I, 18x squared y over 8xz. 18 and 8. Okay, what can we divide by? Well, we can divide by 2, or you can use your calculator if you're not sure. And if we type it in, we're going to get a 9 and a 4. X squared and x. Now an x squared remembers that you have 2 x's up there, but I only have 1 on the bottom. So I can cancel one of the x's from the bottom with one of the ones from the top, but that means I'd still have 1 left. So if I just can't cross off the little squared, I can still see that I have 1 left. The remaining answer is 9xy on the top and 4z on the bottom. J, minus 15abc and minus 3. So those numbers actually do divide nicely, 15 divides by minus 3 exactly 5 times. And again, I could show you that on the calculator. You could type it in and go minus 15, clear that, minus 15 over minus 3, and there's the 5. So it means there's no number left on the bottom. But there is 2 b's on the bottom, which means I can only cancel one of them off with the one on the top. So there'd be one left on the bottom. So the answer is 5, A and C on the top, and one lone little b on the bottom. Okay, so that's multiplying and dividing. The trickiest part comes when you start mixing up your adding, subtracting, multiplying and dividing. Be careful not to mix up each of the different processes that we have learnt. So if you can go to your workbooks now and please complete pages 12 through to 16.